Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Comp Closet podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Moore, and today I wanted to chat about something that has been a big focus for me as we move into 2025, goal setting. Over the past few weeks, I've been doing a lot of reflecting, thinking about what I want to achieve this year and in the next couple of years as well, and how I'm going to make these goals happen. I know it can feel really overwhelming when it comes to making a plan to actually achieve your goals. I know I felt a bit overwhelmed, and that's why I wanted to share these strategies that work for me. Whether you're prepping for your first show, looking to win your pro card, win a crown, or achieve goals in other areas, this episode is for you. We hear a lot about goal setting, but most people set goals and never actually follow through. On this episode, I'll break down why goal setting works, what separates people who hit their goals from those who don't, and then 5 steps to set clear goals and build a plan to actually achieve them. Let's get into it. There's a reason why successful people are so big on goal setting. Studies show that people who write down their goals are 42% more likely to achieve them. Just the act of putting your goals into words helps to clarify what you want and makes it more real. I love these stats because I'm quite competitive, and when I see that writing down your goals is going to make you 42% more likely to achieve them, I'm like, yep, keen. I want a 42% increase on the likelihood in achieving my goals. That's why I love to look at stats, and that's why I'm sharing them with you as well. But here's the thing, only 8% of people actually achieve their New Year's resolutions. That is a super low number, right? So what makes the difference for this 8% of people who actually achieve their goals? It comes down to consistent action. The people who achieve their goals don't just think about them or tell people about them. They create a plan and stick to it, even when they don't feel motivated. If you want to be part of that 8%, then you need a system. Here's 5 steps to actually achieve your goals. These are the steps that I follow, and I know that they work. Step number 1, write your goals down. This might seem basic, but it is absolutely crucial. You need to get your goals down on paper or in a document. Personally, I like to create a Google Doc and break my goals down into categories. The categories that I use are business, financial, sport, health, personal development, and relationships. So what I actually did was, while I was camping over the new year, my fiance Justin and I decided to have a goal setting session where we made our Google Docs and we wrote down all of our goals under these areas and just had a really clear head and wrote down everything that we wanted to achieve. And that was a really fun way to do it. So for example, under sport, one of my goals for the next 2 years is to become a pro champion and win a crown. So in 2025, I'm going to have a big focus on building muscle to make the necessary improvements. Writing this goal down gave me clarity and focus. It's no longer just a dream to win a crown. It is a commitment that I've made to myself. Andrew Huberman, a neuroscientist who I absolutely love, you need to check out his stuff, talks about how having a clear goal makes it easier for your brain to prioritize actions that lead to success. And don't forget as well that writing your goals down increases your chances of achieving them by 42%. My next tip is to review your goals regularly. Once your goals are written down, the next step is to keep them top of mind. I like to review mine weekly, if not more, and this really helps me to stay focused and adjust my actions if needed. During my weekly review, I ask myself, what progress did I make towards my goals this week? What are my top priorities for the upcoming week? And what specific actions do I need to take daily in order to achieve my goals? For example, if my goal is to increase my engagement on social media, I might set a weekly target like post 5 engaging reels, show up on my stories daily, and spend 20 minutes engaging with my audience per day. Then I'll block out my time in my calendar to work on my goals. During these time blocks, I eliminate all distractions and focus solely on that task. And these time blocks can be shorter than you think. The dedicated time ensures I'm making consistent progress. If time blocking is something that you want to learn more about, then flick me some message and I can share some tips and maybe even do a separate podcast episode on that alone because it is such a great productivity hack. It's also important to make your goals specific and measurable. For example, if you want to get better at posing, instead of saying, I want to get better at posing, Say, I will practice posing for an hour total each week, broken into 4 sessions, and then schedule those sessions into your diary or your calendar so you actually do them. My next tip is to track your progress. Tracking your progress is how you stay accountable and figure out what's working and what isn't. I use my prep diary for this. It has a weekly check-in section that prompts me to reflect on how I'm tracking towards my goals. This really forces me to be honest about whether I'm doing what needs to be done or if I need to step things up. Progress is not always linear, and that's completely fine. What really matters is that you keep showing up. I've had plenty of weeks, especially during my last prep, where things felt a little off. Maybe I was tired, maybe my session didn't feel great, 100%, or I didn't focus enough on recovery, so I was sore. But even when things don't go as planned, I still showed up. I ticked off what I could, I kept moving forward, I stayed honest with myself. And it's those small, consistent actions over time that really makes the biggest difference. On comp prep or during a build phase, you don't always feel motivated to hit your macros perfectly or smash out a heavy leg session, but you do it anyways because you know that's what it takes. You can't rely on motivation because it comes and goes. What you can rely on is building discipline and routines, scheduling these things into your day so that you keep moving towards your goals. My next step is to tie your goals to your identity. This one is such an easy shift to make and it's super powerful. I absolutely love it. Instead of saying, I want to win a pro card in 2025, say, I will be a pro competitor in 2025. Can you see the difference? So when you tie your goals to your identity, you start acting like the person who has already achieved them. So instead of saying you want to win the physical thing like a pro card, you actually tie your identity to being a pro competitor. Then you can ask yourself, what would a pro competitor do today? How would they train? How would they eat? How would they show up? Would they finish this cardio session? Would they finish their steps? Then do exactly that. I also suggest making at least one goal that makes you a little bit anxious or a little bit scared, or really scared, because that feeling of discomfort means that you're pushing yourself to grow. But when you tie your goal to who you are, it feels more achievable because you're already becoming that person. And the last step is to write a future review. This is a really fun exercise that I love, and you can actually use ChatGPT for this, or just write it in a journal or on a Google Doc. So pretend it's the end of 2025. And write a review of your year as if you've already achieved your goals. For example, if your goals are to win your pro card, launch your online training business, and read 12 books, you could write, my name is Sarah and I'm a pro competitor with a successful online business and I read 12 books this year. This exercise helps you to visualize success and really reinforce the belief that these goals are within reach. It also helps to tie those goals to your identity, which is what I was talking about in the last step. Before we wrap up, here's a quick recap of the steps to set and achieve your goals in 2025. Step 1, write your goals down. Put them on paper or in a document and break them into categories like business, sport, and personal development, anything that you want to achieve goals in. Step 2, review your goals regularly. Set aside time each week. I like to do it on a Sunday to review your progress and set priorities for the upcoming week using time blocking. Step 3, track your progress. This is important. Use a journal or a planner or Google Calendar to check in on how you're tracking towards your goals and whether your priorities are aligned. Step 4, tie your goals to your identity. Start thinking and acting like the person who has already achieved the goal. Step 5, write a future review. Visualize success by writing a year-end review as if you've already accomplished everything. Remember that goal setting is so much more than just writing down what you want. It's necessary to create a plan and take consistent action while regularly checking in on your progress. Whether your goal is to step on stage for the first time, win a pro card, or just launch that business that you can't stop thinking about, you have the power to make it happen this year. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you found this podcast helpful, I'd love it if you could share this episode to your stories and tag me, and also leave a review on the platform that you're listening to this on. It really helps me to grow the podcast and reach more amazing people like you.